Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to MarketStream.live. We're going to take a look at all the action that's going on right now in the European markets. And let's just jump right in. We're taking a look at the DAX and specifically just Germany. Now, I'm going to use an ETF called EWG to take a look at the action, but we see that the DAX is actually down about 0.2%. And you've seen some mixed action in Germany over the last couple of weeks. Very volatile. You have a couple gaps here. These gaps have been filled. Now, from a technical perspective, that means that you've backfilled some areas where there was some uncertainty or some enthusiasm. At this juncture, what I look at is the 20-day and the 50-day moving average. There was a break, but then below, and then a reestablishment above the 20-day moving average. That means that the short-term bulls in Germany continue to have some traction to the upside. Next level of resistance is going to come into the 2780 range on EWG, the German ETF. The areas that right now are seeing some pressure, autos. Daimler Chrysler is down about is down about 0.5%. You're seeing growing concerns about two things in Europe. One is the political situation. In Germany, they have elections this spring. The Chancellor Merkel, her poll ratings are a little bit low, but who really believes in the polls anyways anymore? What we are looking at here is in Germany, on EWG, we're going to watch this range between 27 and 27.50. This is going to be a critical area that if the bulls are going to continue to have traction to the upside, they need to hold. Now, taking a look at France, and we'll look at EWQ. This is the French ETF that tracks all of the stocks that trade, a lot of the large cap stocks and mid cap stocks in France. Now, it's a mixed bag, and right now the French CAC is trading down about 0.2%. You can clearly see that there's equal amount of volatility in France, and again, the political situation. An outsider, a populist, is in the lead right now in the French elections, or in the mix at least, Marine Le Pen. Now, Marine Le Pen, being a populist, she wants France out of the EU. She is very adamant about that, and you're starting to see that she has some momentum. When that momentum kicked in, you started to see that the French markets were very mixed. They don't know how that's going to actually work out for France and French stocks. You saw that volatility start to pick up. As a matter of fact, a break of the 20-day moving average with a gap, tried to retrace and hold that, couldn't. The last two sessions, not only did we break down in EWQ, which is the French ETF, but we broke down below the 50-day moving average. Watch this one very closely. This is an area right now that the bulls, specifically the short-term bulls on the 20-day moving average and the mid-term institutional money, if they start to pull, if there is uncertainty, you're going to start to see that action start to pick up, and you could see a challenge of $24. Taking a look at the UK, EWU is the ETF that you can monitor for the United Kingdom. Flat. There was a little bit of a pop earlier last week, about midweek, but right now the London, the UK is trading flat. As a matter of fact, the FTSE is trading break even right now. You currently see that there's been a nice consolidation between 31.80 and basically $32 without this spike right here. It's clearly above the 20-day moving average. That tells me that the bulls in the short-term basis are clearly in control, and the next level of support, if this is broken right around the 31.75 level, is going to be the 31.30 level, which is the 50-day moving average. Okay, and that's where you're going to want to see if there is a pullback and you're thinking about exposure in the UK. This is going to be an area that you're going to look out for. Now, what are the things that you're going to, or the reasons or the rationale of why you would want exposure to the UK? One is metal miners. And The miners actually are down today in the UK, which is why you probably see a little bit of a mixed action. And you have pharma. Pharma is actually moving to the upside. You have Jicama as well as AstraZeneca up 2.5% and 1.5% respectively. This mixed action is going to keep this resistance at $32 in place until we see that there's a concerted effort by either of the two camps. But right now, the camp that's in control in London are the bulls, and we'll watch that closely. Finally, I want to take a look at Spain. The reason why I want to look at Spain is because, and that is not what I wanted, EWP, excuse me, is the Spanish ETF. The reason why I want to look at Spain is because you've heard a lot of headlines about Greece. Now, Greece is trying to work out to get their final bailout payments. And so they're going to get in compliance with what Germany and as well as the IMF and anyone that is involved as far as this bailout is concerned. And they'll get the policies implemented. That's a firm belief. You're seeing the banks in Spain reacting positively. If you take a look at EWP, which is the ETF that tracks the Spanish ETFs, and I'm actually just going to do a 1 day, you can see that there was a nice bounce. It recovered and is now above its 50-day moving average. One thing that I do like to utilize is the bar charts, because you can see the open and then the close. And the close above this 50-day moving average is something I want to watch closely. Now, you do see that Spain is up another 0.7% right now in the opening action. Let's see if EWP takes that momentum, gets above this 20-day moving average, right around 27.25. Above that level, you're going to start to see that the bulls will take some action. But the one thing that you're going to notice from all of these charts is the European stock indices are in flux. There's a lot of moving parts. You have elections. You also have growing estimates as far as continuing to come out. PMI is an acronym for Purchasing Manager Indexes. That's a precursor or an implied forecast, basically, of potential growth in the future. And those continue to move to the upside in all of the major countries. So bottom line is that we're going to watch this very closely, because the financials in places like Germany, in Spain, Italy, and Greece are going to be most sensitive to the actions that we're seeing in the larger indices in UK, France, and Germany. All right, folks, that's it right now for the MarketStream.live, taking a look at Europe. We're going to be back online at 9:30 Eastern Time. We're going to take a look at everything that's happening in the U.S. markets. We'll see you then.